I'm just saying, play to people's likes and dislikes. She supports your same team, whatever it might be that's your likes. You all of a sudden sit there and you gravitate to that person. You can't sit there and say to me, as a man, especially as a man, probably less so as women, because women will look at age probably a little bit differently. Yeah, all right? But as a man, are you going to sit there and go, oh, I'm going to deny her that fact because she's 27? That's past my age. Because if you said to me she's 16, 15, I'm sitting there saying, no, come off the podcast. We have to beat you up after this. All right, but you're saying after a legal age group and not 18. Even just 18, not even just 18, you've gone past that to the point where you've got a little bit more maturity about yourself and sense.
So if she's young enough, would you just groom her?
No, I've never groomed anyone in my life. This guy's gone down a freaking whole new... No. Do you know where...
No, buddy. Before we go down the road of thinking what you mean, what do you mean when you're saying that, please? Because the connotations of that are very heavy.
Thank you.
What do you mean by that, please?
Okay, I mean exactly how it sounds. She's 27, aesthetically, amazing. Everything works for me. She's willing to learn and I can teach her. I can teach her. Am I willing to put in the years to groom her?
So to mold her,
not mold, groom her to what I look for. What's the problem?
27 years old, yeah?
What's the problem?
Just black my face out.
What's the problem?
You said 27 though, right?
What's the problem?
27.
No. And the reason why I say what's the problem is because if you don't think your mum was groomed, or your grandma was groomed, or your aunts were groomed, or whatever it is.
Or your dad was groomed.
Or your dad was groomed. and then you look at the age range between your parents or your grandparents or whatever else, then you got another thing coming. At the end of the day, the label that grooming's been given, because you got some nasty old men grooming teenagers into being whatever they're not. At the end of the day, I know my grandfather and my grandmother's age weren't in a 10-year age gap.
There you go.
So he had to make a decision to say, I'm going to take this young girl and groom her. And he did it. And they were together until he died. So was that right or was that wrong? I don't know. All I'm saying is when the age is the age of a young thing.
Go on.
And I'm turning around and saying, am I willing to groom this young thing? I don't necessarily have the patience within me to do so. Other members may, I don't. So I need more than just the physical, because after the physical, when you start to open your mouth and chat, and I can't relate to that, it's not going to work for me. For me, it's not going to work.
So basically what you're saying is you want to meet somebody effectively that is ready-made, that is...
Not necessarily ready-made, because I'll be groomed as well.
Yeah, what I mean is, none of us are perfect.
Exactly.
So we're not going to walk into a relationship and say, I'm 100% and you're 100% and this, whatever. But the general things that you will meet in a relationship is that you will bring the sum parts to make a whole in it.
Yeah.
Rather than you're having to create a person that you want to be who you're with.
100%.
And the problem with that is, as far as I see it, if they now get to a certain point, they may not even like...
I know we don't have a lot of time left, but do you think you've been groomed?
I was just thinking, I'm laughing. I'm thinking, have I been groomed? And I'm thinking, I've been groomed a few times.
Of course I've been groomed,
I've been groomed a few times.
Of course I've been groomed.
Yeah.
Like the way I used to make chicken at the beginning to the way I make chicken now, I've been groomed. Do you know what I mean? To the way certain man's footwear, to the footwear he's buying now, you've been groomed.
No, it's true.
Why are you throwing cups at me, bro?
No, it's true.
Huh? You're a dickhead.
I'm a dickhead.
You're a dickhead.
Why? Have you changed your...
You're a dickhead. I haven't changed my footwear. Pass my cup, please.
The cup you threw, bro. You can stay right where you're at.
But is that not a thing of...
Of certain man being groomed?
No.
Like if I was 42 and I met a young thing and decided to groom it, what's the problem?
What I was going to say was,
45.
is it not a thing that you both, in a relationship, you will both be shaping each other to whatever?
Yeah, but you're trying to make it sound nice. He's
No. I'm talking about in a relationship, you will mold each other to whatever you want in your relationship. But it's a difference.
I want to be palatable to be molded.
But the difference is having to make someone become what you actually want wholly, and they're not having no real molding on you. You're making them. It's not like to say, so at our ages, you're not going to the 25 and under age that they will be going to, because you're past that. Right. But that's what they do.
Right.
But you're trying to mold them to be the adult on your level of being like you're
Okay.
a 40-something-year-old man. You want them to have that same mindset that you have, but they actually of the mindset of a 20-something-year-old woman, and you're trying to make them be something that they're not.
They are where they should be in life.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
It's funny. We had a podcast on it before, and I used the word. It was a trigger word, deliberate. All right. I said trained. You train your partner, and your partner trains you. All right. I said that on a podcast, and I said it's the same thing you're trying to say, but you're now trying to change it to groomed. I'm not going with the groomed.
Go
word.
on, but go
all
on.
right. I'm definitely not going with that because I don't think it's groomed. I think you can train your partner to work towards whatever it is that you lot are working towards.
I'll ask you
but
the question.
grooming is not what I
What is
call
the
it.
difference between training and grooming?
Semantics.
It's
semantics, but what is the difference,
It is
though?
a little bit of
But
semantics.
what is the actual
but
difference?
when I hear grooming, it's taking somebody that is younger, all right, and their innocence, and you're now. When I hear, like I said, this is how I hear it. I hear grooming saying to myself, you're taking someone that's younger and innocent or doesn't know any better, all right, and you're trying to make them go to your path from what you want them to do. That's why I understand as grooming.
Yeah,
all right?
the media's got you then, like how they got Saka.
Maybe, but I, that's what I hear. When I hear grooming, that's what I hear.
what's the
When I hear
training?
training, I'm saying to myself, training is something that we're working on to improve, or we're trying to no, I'm
go
using
on.
the terminology, innit?
Yeah, go on,
All
go
right,
on.
we're training to try and either improve, or we're trying to work together to get to a position or a success, for example.
So when I hear grooming and when I hear training, I think of dog biscuit, whip, do what I say, otherwise you get beaten.
Okay, and that's how you hear it. I don't hear that. That's what I'm saying. I don't hear that. I don't necessarily hear that. Depending on the term,
And
depending on the way.
grooming is do what I say, and I'll buy you your favorite handbag.
No, I don't see that. Grooming for me, I'm just saying to you, I hear it from a young person trying. You're preying on the innocent. That's the way I hear grooming.
Grooming sounds softer than training. Training in the context of a relationship sounds quite harsh, quite chauvinistic, quite domineering.
If it comes from a male perspective,
Either though.
But wow, okay. But if a girl says it, you're saying
have you been groomed or trained?
I didn't say. I still can't hear the grooming bit. But the training side of things, I feel we train each other. You train.
Have you been groomed or trained?
Have I been trained? Yes, I've been trained.
Have you been groomed?
No, I haven't been groomed.
Have you been groomed or trained?
You know, I would probably say I have. I can't.
Trained or groomed?
I'd say possibly even both, because I can think of being in a relationship with somebody who had a older. It was more than about 5 years difference when I was in my 20s, and it made me accelerate my mentality of maturity from being in my early 20s to being, you know what, I'm now having to grow up. If that makes sense. Now, would I have been like that if I wasn't in that relationship? I don't think so. Can I say it was a negative? Also, I don't think so. So is it necessarily a negative to say that has happened? No. But what I would say is that if I look back on it, I'd say, boy, you know what? But you was doing all this in there, you know, you weren't doing that. You must have been, what happened? Oh, you met someone and then you now changed your mentality. That was you being trained to be a different sort of way than what you were.
Rayman.
of course, man. We're all Pokemon.
Both, innit?
Yeah, of course, easy all day. It's
Easily.
It's an immature thought process to say that you haven't. And if you think that you haven't, the person was that good at it, you never knew.
Jedi flex.
Sirelli says on the chat, grooming is you look up to me and want to please me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I get that.
Time.
Yes, it has been a
We didn't finish the podcast. What did you
no
call it?
innocent until proven guilty.
We changed that to ageism.
It changed to it went through the ages.
It was Are You
went
an
from-
Uncle? Are You an Uncle?
Yes,
Man
it
got
turned
vexed.
to Are You an Uncle and all sorts.
you can break this one up into 2 segments.
I'll tell you what you do need to do, those of you that are watching though, you do need to log on and make sure you follow the TikTok, the Empty
TikTok's gone
Podcast.
mad.
And if you're watching it on YouTube or on Instagram, you need to make sure you're following the YouTube page as well. Don't just watch it on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, get the updates. Make sure you watch all the other videos too, because there's a whole load on there.
Like,
Very
share,
interesting
subscribe.
topics. Like, share, subscribe. Exactly that.
I will put a bet on that some of the stuff that we've mentioned here goes over 5,000 views on TikTok. It's gonna be mad. It's gonna be amazing.
Ray's plotting already.
Blood, I don't ask questions for no reason now.
Yeah.
It goes over
Honestly.
5,000. Do we get a prize or something?
Well, let's just deal with the bottles that are outstanding first.
Do I get one less bottle or something?
Oh, listen, it has been an interesting podcast today. But this has been the Empty Podcast, and if the glass ain't half full,
It's empty.
Yeah.